Hey guys, Josh with Carl's Mower and Saw. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about the Stihl KombiSystem. We've done lots of videos on them, we've looked at them pretty in depth, but we haven't really ever lined them all up in a row. Part of that is because we've had a really challenging time getting all of the models in stock at one time. In fact, right now we are still short one model, the KMA 130. Not a very popular machine, so I went ahead and I just said, let's just shoot this video. Let's give you a brief overview on the differences between the power heads as we move up from the KM56 to the 94, 91, 111, 131, and then the KMA 135. All of these power heads will run any of the Stihl Kombi attachments. Some of them won't run them very well. Some of them will run them incredibly well without any problems with power. So one of our most popular attachments is the Hedge Trimmer. This thing takes very little power to run, so I could potentially get away with running a KM56 to power that machine. But maybe I'm cutting really heavy grass. Maybe I got waist-high grass. A KM56 powering a line head for waist-high grass is not the right machine. I probably better move up a little bit in power. So just kind of a little bit of why I would look to move up. Also keep in mind that when I buy a Kombi, I'm not just buying a weed eater or an edger or a hedge trimmer. I'm potentially buying 4, 5, 6, 7 different attachments. So this tool is going to be used a lot more than my traditional weed eater, right? I'm going to take my string trimmer out weekly and run it for 20 minutes. But if all of a sudden I could edge with this, I'm going to add another 10 minutes or so. If all of a sudden I could use a blower on this, I'm going to add another 10 minutes or so. Maybe I have some property that I need to cut some trees back, so I got a pole pruner. So suddenly a Kombi power head could be running way more than what you're planning on running. For that reason, I almost always recommend that we step up from the consumer machine, the KM56, to at least a commercial machine. So we'll break that down a little bit as to why. I hope that makes sense. The KM56 is our starting point. This thing comes in at just over 1 horsepower. It's fairly lightweight. Currently, in year 2021, 2022, it's running right about $200 for this power head. Hey, that price could change, but just give you a baseline of what we're up against. So 1 horsepower, just over 200 bucks. It has the easy start. That's nice. That is a selling point for certain people. They need that easy pull. This is a cable drive from engine to coupler, okay? Because of that, I would be very wary about putting on a brush cutter head, right? A blade head. Okay, so moving up from the KM56 in power-wise, not necessarily in price-wise, but the next step is the KM94. This is coming in right around 340, 350 bucks, super light. The value to this guy is it is the lightest weight Kombi power head. Beautiful if you're running some of the attachments that are above your head. Guys love this for the hedge trimmer, and maybe the commercial guys if they're running just a string trimmer, right? I'm on a weekly mow, I'm not doing a lot of heavy stuff with it, so it's really nice, lightweight, easy to grab and go, but it does lack a little bit of power. This thing comes in right at 1.2 horsepower, and the torque is not quite as good as you get out of some of the other machines as you move up the ladder per se. So 1.2 horsepower, right around 340 bucks. The KM94 will run, again, all of the attachments, but seems to be a little light on power for certain applications. So moving up from the KM94, we get into the KM91, KM111, and KM131. They all look the same. Look at them. Like there's no difference, but it's on the inside that counts. We'll get into that a little bit. These are full commercial machines. Looking at this KM91, we have a solid shaft from head, from engine to coupler, as do all of the Stihl attachments except 2. So this pole pruner attachment is a solid shaft. This reciprocator attachment, solid shaft. This straight edger, solid shaft, solid shaft. The curved edger is a cable. Duh, right? You're not gonna have a solid shaft go around a corner. And then they also make a curved shaft trimmer. But all Stihl attachments, shaft drive, except for that edger. Advantage of it is going to be power transfer. And that's what these bring, right? So we have a solid shaft going to a solid shaft. The KM91 is going to weigh a little bit more than the KM94, but all of these, the 91, the 111, the 131, all weigh the same, it's just power increases. Okay, so we're going to be at 1.27 horsepower Remember, this was 1.2, 1.27, but torqueier, more diesel than gas, if that makes sense. More third gear versus fourth gear, right? Just more torque as I go up a hill. So if I am running line head and heavy grass, it's going to go through it. If I am running the edger to cut back an edge, we're going to have better luck, better performance as we move from a 94 to a 91. From the 91, we go up to the 111. This 111 is coming in at 1.4 horsepower. And then from the 111, we go to the 131, and that's coming in at 1.9. That's a big jump, right? 1.4 to 1.9, that's a half a horsepower jump. Guess what? Sometimes it's too much power. Depending on the application, depending on where you live, if you're primarily running a hedge trimmer attachment, this thing takes no power, and it will annoy you with how much power it has behind the hedge trimmer. But if you're running a line head and heavy grass, or if you're doing a lot of edging, or if you're doing a fair amount of pole pruner work, think about that. And then the final machine in the Kombi series is this KMA 135. We've done a couple videos on this. This came out last year, a couple of years ago. This is Stihl's battery-powered professional machine. And if they were rating horsepower, I'm said it's about 1.6 horse. So it's kind of KM 111, KM 131 split. Great power, solid steel shaft to the coupler, can run any of the Stihl Kombi attachments. This is a beautiful machine. We don't have to worry about the maintenance. We have less weight, we have less noise, we don't have to worry about starting it. Maybe you already have a Kombi. This is a great addition for maybe parts of your property. Maybe you want to have two, tag team it with this. All right, there you go, a brief overview of the Stihl Kombi setup, starting with the KM56 right at about $200. I didn't hit the price on these, so let me just hit it real quick. KM56 right around $200, KM94 $340, KM91 $330, KM111 $380, and KM131 coming in at $410. I rounded up a penny on all of those prices. Check it out, the full line of Stihl Kombis. One of these is right for you and your property. Hey, this is Josh from Carl's Mower and Saw. Thanks for watching our videos. We're proud of the fact that we've been serving you with the best in outdoor power equipment since 1990. We're glad that you had an opportunity to sit down, watch our videos, learn something about an exciting new product that we have, something that interests you for your property, or really how to use your equipment to the best of its ability. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube. We're excited to share more information with you. See you soon.